Qantas flight QF164 from Wellington to Sydney on Thursday the 27th of July 2023 on a Boeing 737-800, scheduled to depart at 3:45 p.m, scheduled flight time 3 hours and 45 minutes. This is the first of 3 flights from Wellington, New Zealand to Larnaca in Cyprus. These flights are all booked with Emirates, so this is a codeshare flight, and the flight number I'm travelling under is EK5048. So after a quick farewell, goodbye Murphy, goodbye Murphy, I'm out of the car and off to the terminal to check in. It's often hard to know how crazy it's going to be at the airport for check-in, so I got here nice and early, 3 hours before my flight. But when I get into the terminal, there's hardly anyone there, so I head straight up to a kiosk and get on with it. So 6 minutes after walking into the terminal, I'm checked in, have my boarding passes and my bag is tagged and ready to go. All I have to do is drop it at the automated bag drop. This is going so well. So I kick off the process, and once I figure out which way up I should have my boarding pass, the computer gets me to push a few buttons, acknowledging that it's going to collect an awful lot of data about me, and that I don't have anything that I'm not meant to in my bags. Then I put my bag in the allocated spot, where it gets weighed, and I get a specific question about power banks, after which I get to confirm where I'm going again. And then the machine wants to scan my passport. It seems a bit weird, but okay. And this time, it wants to take my photo as well. And then it wants to scan the bag tag, but it can't see the bag tag. I hold it out in front of where I think the little camera is, but it still doesn't see it. And then eventually the computer gives up and says no. And then I think, well, maybe it's the computer. So I go try another one, but I can't get that one to even start. So I decide to go and join the line. There's only one service desk open, and the line doesn't appear to be getting any shorter. So after about 5 minutes, I think to myself, maybe I'll try just one more automated bag drop. This time I whip through all the screens like I totally know what I'm doing. Push this, push that, passport in, passport out. I decide to put the bag upright so the baggage label is closer to the little laser thing. But the computer doesn't like that, so I lie it back down and sort of twist the label around. And hey, bingo! Label scanned, bag gone. So the pro tip for next time, stick your baggage label on the handle that's on the long side of your suitcase. And it gives me a receipt. Nice one! Only 14 minutes after arriving at the terminal, I'm completely checked in and heading over towards international departures. The international gates at Wellington Airport are in the same building as the domestic gates. You go through a separate security screening, and then through passport control and into duty free, where I 100% resisted temptation. And so at 1:48 p.m, a mere 24 minutes after arriving at the airport, and almost 2 hours before the departure of my flight, I find myself in the International Departures Lounge. But I happen to know there's some interesting aircraft over on the Western Apron due to a FIFA Women's World Cup match that's about to kick off at the Wellington Regional Stadium. Visibility out from the international terminal isn't great, but I do catch a few things.
Flight QF164, crashing with Emirates to Sydney, is now ready for general boarding. At this time, we would like to invite customers seated in rows 25 to 30 only, rows 25 to 30, to board now using the general boarding lane. All other customers, please remain seated and clear of the boarding gate until your row number is called. Is now inviting customers seated in rows 20 to 30 only. 15 to 30 only. 10 to 30 only. Rows 10 to 30. Please have your passports open at the photo page and your boarding pass ready to stand at the gates. And again, to present the cabin crew as you board the aircraft. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Hello.
G'day, how you going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Welcome aboard.
Thanks. Just come over, or you?
No, we're just starting.
Yeah, just
We come
starting.
back.
Oh, so you're excited?
Yeah, we're all ready to go. Thank you.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Cabin crew, please prepare for departure. Cabin crew, the last aircraft door is now closed. Cabin crew, arms doors and cross check. Cabin crew, to safety demonstration positions, please.
We pushed back from the gate 4 minutes behind schedule at 3:49, taxied for 11 minutes, and took off 5 minutes behind schedule at 4 p.m. We pushed back from gate 48, taxied via Charlie 5, Bravo 5 and Alpha, entered runway 16 via Alpha 1, and took off to the south.
However, we do ask you to keep seatbelt fastened when you are seated. If you're in the main cabin today between rows 4 and 30, you'll find 2 to look the rear of the aircraft. For those of you of business, you have one up front. Please sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us today.
After taking off to the south, we did a series of right-hand turns, then crossed over the top of the South Island, another right, then a slight left, and across the Tasman towards Sydney. Mountains are always beautiful, don't you think? Just under an hour after takeoff, crew came round with a meal. I think we'll call it lunch. There was a choice of hot beef with pasta or a cold chicken salad. My wife had had the hot beef the week before and said it wasn't very good. And I'd had the chicken salad before and thought it was excellent, so I thought I'd go again. So I had a cold chicken salad, cheese and crackers, cold beverage, hot beverage, and a wee little treat for pudding. Okay, let's go! Despite being a slightly different configuration than the chicken salad I had 4 years ago on QF164, this chicken salad does not disappoint. It's light and delicious, and the chicken isn't at all dry. So good! And Travel with Carl_AU also thinks they're awesome, so I mean, we can't both be wrong, can we? No, we can't! 9 out of 10. Fantastic chicken salad, Qantas. Onto the cheese and crackers. The crackers are plain water crackers from Emirates in Australia. The cheese is a mild cheddar from Canary in New Zealand. It's packaged in a biodegradable plastic film. That's quite neat. The cheese is soft and the crackers are crispy. It's a good combination, if lacking a little bit in flavour. I give it a 7 out of 10. Pretty good crackers, Qantas. For the cold beverage, there was beer, wine, soft drinks and juices. You might have been able to get spirits. I didn't ask, so I don't know. I went for a lemonade and I got given an entire can. I mean, it was a 200ml can, but it was a whole can all to myself. That makes dispensing faster and easier, so I got to tip it into the cup myself. The whole thing. I wonder if it'll all fit. Will it fit? Will it fit? It fits! 8 out of 10. Comprehensive cold beverage service. Nice one, Qantas. For the hot beverage, I got a cup of tea. It came with a little container of milk, so I tipped that in and stirred it around. It was a good, hot, strong cup of tea. 7 out of 10. Nice one. A little bit later in the flight, the cabin crew came through and dished out Kit Kats. And they weren't just like little Kit Kats, they were like the full big Kit Kats. I'd sort of like it if they bought treats off a slightly smaller company, but Kit Kats are delicious. I mean, this was delicious, and it's a bit of an extra, so thanks, Qantas. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. So how was their lunch? So the main, the absolutely outstanding cold chicken salad, got a 9. The cheese and crackers, which consisted of cheese and crackers, got a 7. The comprehensive cold beverage service got an 8. The hot strong cup of tea got a 7. And the sweet treat Kit Kat also got a 7. That's an average of 7.6. That's a pretty good lunch, Qantas. Thanks. This plane, VH-VZY, is a Boeing 737-800. It had its first flight in February 2012, making it 11.5 years old when I took this flight. It's been owned by Qantas that entire time and is currently configured with 12 business and 162 economy class seats. And I was seated about a third of the way back in seat 10A. The seat pitch, or the distance between my seat and the seat in front, is 76 centimetres or 30 inches. I'm 180 centimetres tall, but it was, okay. But a super bonus is that the seat beside me was empty. Alright. And the seat itself was comfy enough for a 3.5 hour journey. There's a 9-inch touchscreen in the back of the seat in front, which has a USB power outlet beside it, and there's an AC power outlet under your seat. In the armrest there's a few basic controls, and you plug your headset into the end of the armrest. Qantas provide a basic headset if you don't have one of your own. If you have your own, you'll need a Wii adapter. There's physical brightness, power and volume controls on the bottom of the seatback screen. The touchscreen on the in-flight entertainment system isn't massively responsive, but within the system there's a pretty decent range of recent and classic movies, and I had no trouble finding something to watch that I hadn't seen before. The TV shows are a bit of a mixed bag though. I found they either only had a few episodes or only had later seasons, so it was hard to get into something you hadn't seen before. As well as movies and TV shows, there's real-time flight information, so you can see how far you've come and how far you've got to go. Something was a little bit broken with the PA system. Some of the announcements in the cabin were fine and some of them were really quiet, but if you were wearing headphones and connected to the in-flight entertainment system, they were all super loud, like hurting your ears loud. And that was uncool, Qantas. Some maintenance required. The overhead bins seem really tucked away, making the cabin seem reasonably spacious, but there's actually plenty of space in the overheads for a full-size carry-on. There's also space under the seat in front for a small backpack, handbag or laptop bag, and there's a seat back pouch for all of your in-flight knickknacks. And in the overhead panel there's air vents, reading lights and a call button. So an 11.5-year-old 737-800 that's well maintained and in pretty good condition. The issues with the in-flight entertainment system do bother me though, so I feel compelled to give this aircraft a 6.5. Feels a little bit tough, but okay.
On an international flight, if you hold a boarding pass, check the screens on the terminal for details of the flight departure. If you don't hold a boarding pass, make your way to the Qantas transfer desk located in the international screening. If you are activities on an activity flying, please clear immigration and leave your checked-in bags in city customs. If you are connected on a Qantas domestic flight, please make your way outside with your bags to the Qantas domestic transfer area.
After crossing the Tasman, we did a few minor adjustments, which I assume were aligned with the predetermined route. Then as we got close to Sydney, we did a series of left-hand turns, followed by a series of right-hand turns, and came into the airport from the south. We landed to the north on 34R, we left the runway via taxiway Uniform 1, then via Lima, across 34L16R, Alpha, across 0725, and onto gate 25 of the International Terminal.
Hello, Guinea Rock, about to prepare the cabin for landing. So please return to your seat allocated on your boarding pass. Now time to put away laptop computers and large bags, office pockets, with smaller bags under the seat in front of you. If you are on the exit row or the first row of business, all bags must be placed in the seat lockers. Please place your seat, footrest and tray table back to the original stowage position. Ensure your window shade is open and your seatbelt is fastened.
Pretty close. Yeah. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt signs are off. As always, smoking, vaping, and the use of e-cigarettes is not considered while embarking onto our terminal. Please stay here when opening over your boxes as baggage may have protected fall out. Please check your seat and seat pocket for items that could be left behind today. And if you can reach your mobile phone, you can turn off flight mode. On behalf of all of us here at Qantas and One World, we'd like to thank you for flying with us. If you are visiting Sydney, we hope you enjoy your stay, and of course, for those returning, a warm welcome home.
We landed a bit later than scheduled at 5:11 PM, taxied for 19 minutes, and arrived at the gate bang on time at 5:30 PM.
Cabin crew, disarm doors and cross-check.
So I'll sum up as I make my way to the gate for my next flight. The meal, which consisted of their outstanding chicken salad, the lemonade, the excellent cup of tea, and the Kit Kat, got a 7.6. And the plane, 11.5-year-old 737-800, which was okay, got a 6.5. That's an average of 7.05. That's a pretty good flight, Qantas. I have to say that chicken salad's doing plenty of heavy lifting though. Before I head to my next gate, I have to go through international transit, which is effectively just another security screening. This was pretty quick, and then I went up the escalator and I was in departures. I checked the boards to find my gate, and then follow the signage over to gate 57. The international terminal at Kingsford Smith in Sydney isn't enormous. Everything's in one terminal, but it also isn't tiny, and my gates today were almost as far apart as they could be. So it does pay to be sure. I quite like to find my gate and then relax. When I got to gate 57, my plane wasn't there yet, but it appeared to be on time from Christchurch, so everything's going pretty well so far. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and then watch every single video we've ever made. And every one we will make. Thanks.